Can I tell you a story? So last week I went on a date with this guy that I met online. We're talking and I think it's going well. He pays for my coffee and I'm laughing at all of his jokes, not even out of pity, he's actually just really funny. And then he asks me the dreaded question. So what do you write about? And if you're not a writer, I get that this question might seem deceptively simple, but at least for me, it feels like someone's trying to take a magnifying glass to my heart. Sometimes I just say, well, I'm currently working on my graduate thesis. It's a collection of short stories about women in their 20s dealing with things like heartbreak and first real jobs and awkward family dynamics. Sometimes I get really descriptive and I say, I wrote this one story about Martha. She works at a crisis call center and she moves back home to be with her grandmother to be her caretaker. I wrote another story about Clara. She's dealing with quite a bit of repressed childhood trauma and things really come to a head when she steals a diaper genie in a ruthless game of Dirty Santa. I even wrote a story about online dating. Side note, this is not the best thing to say when you're actually on an online date. The person will feel like they're being used for research, and most people do not find this flattering. Sometimes I get on my soapbox and I say, I just think stories about women dealing with everyday issues are important, and that feelings like loneliness and aimlessness are some of the most prevalent but least talked about issues in our contemporary culture. What do we do when intimacy has been outsourced to the internet? When the world is becoming increasingly complex and our capacity to deal with it isn't? Ultimately, on this particular date, to this particular man, I decide to say, I am obsessed with words. I just think they're so cool. How you can put two together and they inform each other and sometimes even change what the other one means. And if you're lucky enough to put together words in a dynamic way, you have an engaging sentence. And these engaging sentences turn into paragraphs, and these paragraphs become pages, and these pages become stories. And I think that's magical. So the guy leans back, smiles at me and says, wow, you explain talking really well. And I get that he's not trying to trivialize my enthusiasm, but I can point to stories that have changed my life, that have made me feel like my words matter, that have met me at my lowest moments. And I'm not going to stand here and contend that my thesis will go on to change someone's life one day. But if I can just touch one person with my passion, that would mean just about everything to me. So I'll ask you one more time, hand on my heart, can I tell you a story?